Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Beemer Fam. You guys join us up here at Vile Motorsport once again. You know what that means. That means we have another modification to install my BMW M4 G82. Right on cue. Here we go. Got my M4 parked up right here, sounding absolutely amazing. We just got to move cars around. So he's actually going to pull this out and then he's going to back it in. We get to listen to this glorious exhaust note. And then once we get the car parked up, I'm going to walk you guys around the mods that we have already installed on this car. And I've got a G80 M3 manual looking good today. Sounding good too. I think put a new exhaust system on this car. Full titanium, just like my car. So, I mean, it already sounded good as is. But now it sounds even better. Wow, this thing looks sick inside the bay. Proper lighting and whatnot. You can also see the DRLs that we did on the front end of the car, the headlights. Straight from the M4 CSL. Dude, I love that. It's probably one of my favorite mods on this car so far. You see the laser just came on too. Man, the laser lights in this car is a must. So right here is the first modification that's going on the car. We have lowering springs from Eibach. And I think these are the best springs because they're not the 30 mil drop that you get with the H&Rs. Since I daily drive this car, we went with something a little more reserved, which is 20 mil drop. So we're still dropping the car a good amount, but it's not going to be getting in the way of the daily drivability of this car. These are springs outside. So I believe these are the front springs, if I'm not wrong. We're going to find out soon. And then this side gives you a better look at that fitment. You see right here, especially from down low, there's a lot of space between that tire and the fender right now. Most other kits offer 30 mil, and it's kind of tough for fitment, especially depending if you're going on bigger wheels, which we are going to be putting a new set of wheels on this car. You're going to have to modify the fender liners in this car with the 30 mils. So that's something I don't want to do at all. I just want to get the fender liners how they are, which is another reason we went with the Eibach 20 mil drop. Coming around back, you can see the fitment a little bit better from this angle as well. I mean, this is just atrocious. I mean, this is riding pretty much like an SUV and X4 type style. There is just so much space between the tire and the rear fender. It is not even right. It's absurd. You can see the front is pretty bad, but the back, I don't know, something about the back that really just bothers me more than the F80 generation, the last generation of M3 and M4. So over a quarter, probably a third of my hand can fit in there. I mean, that's, if we look around the shop, man, I just love some of the aesthetic we got here. We got a nice skateboard with E30 M3 on there, M logo, some neon lights, got the cool Vile Motorsport logo on the wall. But you can see he got rid of some of his exhaust systems. Last time we were here, he had quite the collection of exhaust systems. He's got a few more just laying around, but it seems like he got rid of most of them. So, and this is new. He's also got a wheel rack on the wall. This is very nice. Some nice 20-inch wheels. See some of the cars they have here that they've been working on today, which is a frozen gray G80 M3 competition. Been doing some basic mods. I don't know the story on this one. I don't know what's going on with it. I assume it's getting some work done. Hellcat. Some cool mods on it. Black diamond, same sponsor from our F80. Really cool color. A wide body E92 335. And then inside the shop you've got that G80 M3 grills, front splitter, whole hood, carbon fiber. I really love these indentations. Makes it look a lot more aggressive. And we are going up. Underneath the arch right here, boom, you can see those are the factory springs on the suspension. That's exactly what we're trying to replace today. So you can see the wheels off, suspension's loosened up, and James already pulled off the stock spring. You can see that right here. We're gonna line that up. Now it's time to throw the Eibach spring on right there and tighten everything back together. So here you can see both the springs out the car. This is the Eibach, the aftermarket ones, and these are the factory BMW springs. From this angle, you can kind of see how much higher this one sits. So we pretty much lower the car approximately that much. So I'm gonna say probably an inch. We got the hood closed. Look like the front springs are done. You can see them poking out right there with the Eibach logo. So it's time to move to the back. One rear spring out the car, new spring getting put back into the car. way better. But you see, it's not too low to the ground, so we still got some gap in there, which is nice. Keep in mind, there's no spacers on the car right now, and we're also gonna add wider wheels. So we're gonna get wider wheels, wider tires, and that's gonna bring the wheels out. But for the daily, man, just dropping it just over an inch. That's plenty. Looks really good. See if we can get a profile view. Yeah, see, now my next issue is you come over the wheel arch. The wheels are tucked in there. So we gotta fix that. But we're getting there. One mod at a time. As you can see, we got the M4 parked up away from the shop, and we've actually let this car sit overnight. For those of you guys who've never installed springs, it usually takes 12 to 24 hours for them to fully settle in. It's been just almost exactly 24 hours since we've installed these springs, and this is pretty much the final setting. So I would say this is plenty low enough. Like I mentioned at the shop, I think this is the perfect setup for a daily driver. And honestly, I think this is how the car should have came from factory, just about an inch lower. But obviously we're gonna have to get some wider wheels and tires to fill up this gap a little bit better. I think the front is not so bad, but once you look at the back, you see the fender liner right there. From that certain angle, bring the wheel out, should hide some of that. From this angle, you can see it looks so good. Wow. This also gives us the opportunity to look at all the mods that we've done on the car so far. This is technically the 6th modification. We have a carbon fiber diffuser from West Coast Euros. We have a full titanium exhaust. That's a catback valve, straight piped exhaust system. And this one's from Valve Master. And then we also have the catless downpipes from Mastery Art and Designs. And obviously now we have the lowered suspension. But then coming around front, you can see we did those CSL yellow DRLs from the M4 CSL, also from West Coast Euros. And then on the interior of the car, to match the carbon fiber bucket seats, we also went with a carbon fiber LED steering wheel with the Alcantara sides. And that is officially it for all the mods on this car so far. Now I must say, looks are all fine and dandy, but what we really care about is the performance. Does this car indeed handle better than it did before? So there is a big difference with these springs. I'm sure the lower you go, you just get more of a difference. But immediately when I got into this car, I noticed the ride quality from the suspension is just a little bit, ever so slightly more firm, more stiff, and more sporty. And that's even before putting it into a Sport Plus type of mode. If you have different tiers, you've got sport springs and race springs and then OEM. This is definitely in the sport category. So noticeable difference. The biggest thing I'm noticing though is around the corners. Exhaust is sounding good right now. Doesn't actually lift up as much as it did with the stock, but especially in these turn-ins, the car is really staying a lot more level, more hugged to the ground. And that's the whole point of modifying suspension. Some of you guys may be like, oh, it's just a ride height thing. No, actually the primary objective with any kind of suspension modification, especially springs, is you're getting better handling. That's what's amazing about this. You really don't notice a difference in the springs just daily driving around until you put it in sport. You really get up to speed, you really test the suspension on this car. That's when everything turns amazing. Oh my God. It's unbelievable. If you think about what an M car is, it's really just a precision tool. And our objective is to make that tool a bit sharper. Downpipes, which give us not only sound but a lot more horsepower and performance. We have the full titanium exhaust that gives us weight savings to make the car a little more lighter on its feet. We saved almost 60 pounds with that exhaust. Got the springs to make the car feel a little more nimble. We've also added that diffuser to give the rear end a nice and sporty look. And then on the interior, we have this beautiful carbon fiber LED steering wheel from Carbontastic. So, and then on the front of the car, we got the yellow CSL DRLs. making the car appear more aggressive as well. So things are starting to come together. Now granted, we do need a few more mods to tie everything together. So I know a lot of you guys are asking, well, what's next? By the time you see this video, you've seen we've also have front mount intakes literally at the house right now, waiting to be installed. But the reason we haven't put those on yet is because we're waiting on the front bumper and fenders, which has been delayed. So right now, getting a lot of goods into the United States has been a struggle. A lot of things are getting delayed. Not only that, the same goes for our wheels. So we're getting a full set of 20-inch wheels, and those also have been delayed until around the same time as the bumper. So it's tough because, you know, we could throw the front mount intakes on right now, but it's going to involve removing the bumper on this car to install those. So it's like, we might as well just wait to install that, kind of hit two birds with one stone when we replace the front bumper on this car. And then obviously we have a few things up our sleeve. I'm not going to really announce to you guys yet, but we've got some cool modifications for this car coming. I mean, this car is cool enough as is. I mean, most people would be happy with just this, but you know, we've got a lot more to do to this car. We've got to sharpen that tool a lot more. Wow, I love this car. The stock setup, and so that'll do it for today's quick video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check us out on Instagram at Beemer Fam. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.